Good morning. Happy Sunday. I am here getting set up for some gentle yoga with Miley. We'll wait a couple more minutes to give people a chance to get settled and get to their yoga space at home. All the usual stuff. You'll want a mat or a towel to kind of identify your space. Maybe a belt or a strap or something for some assistance in stretching. Good morning, Dad. Hi. So go ahead and gather up your normal yoga props. We will be on hands and knees a little bit, so you may want some extra cushion in a pillow or an extra blanket. And we'll wait just a few more minutes. I'm going to finish getting my coffee ready and get a few things together here, and then we'll get started. So you can go ahead and get settled if you are already ready. You can find a comfortable seat or lay down on your back or stand. We're actually going to start standing up today, so you don't have to be there right now, but if you wanted to, you could stand. Thumbs up. Okay, be right back. Hey, Mom. Whoop. Hey. Don't need phone calls during yoga. Okay, I'm waiting just a few more minutes to let people get to their spaces, and then we'll get going. Then we'll get started. Miley's ready. Look at her. Do you need this spot, Mom? It's so cozy. I just want to lay on the mat. We're gonna need that. If you like music, you can try to set up some speakers in a playlist of your own this time. I always mean to say that at the beginning and I forget, but remembered this time. I'm not allowed to play it, but you all certainly could have it set up in the background. Are you requesting downward dog, Mom? That's good. We're gonna have some down dog today. Do you want belly rubs? That's what you want, isn't it? Isn't it? Roll over. Roll over. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Say hello to your fans. Okay. So if you're just joining us, we'll get closer to getting ready to get started. I'm so happy that you're here for our Sunday yoga. Hi, Tasha. We are going to need all the normal things, a little padding underneath your knees if you like, a pillow or a blanket. Also some kind of long either towel or strap or belt to help with some stretches, and we'll start standing up actually today. So I promise it'll still be gentle, but we are going to do some stuff from a standing position. I see my mom is revoking her downward dog request. Thank you. Chappie said that it was too cluttered from the first day and we had to work on tidying it up, so I did. All right. Let's come to a standing position at the top of your mat. And once you get there, you can close your eyes and just try to listen to the cues and do what I say without necessarily watching me. So once you're to the top of your mat, we're gonna start at our feet and work our way up the body to the head in a little alignment practice to get to mountain pose. So starting with the feet, let's lift all of your toes up off the ground and just kind of wiggle them around. This will help you find the four corners of your feet or where you need to kind of ground into the earth. And so when you're in a standing position, sometimes we tend to kind of grip with our toes, but we want to have a firm foundation without even getting our toes involved at all. So lift those up to help you figure that out, and then you can just relax them down. So we've found our foundation. Now we'll move up to the knees. They don't need to be locked out, but they shouldn't be super bent either. So just a soft kind of bouncy knee. Taking our foundation up to the hips, we want to make sure that we have just a little tuck under of the tailbone in the back, so it's not a super arched back with any kind of compression or pain on the back side, but we're not really tucked under either. So just a nice, relaxed, kind of neutral spine. Good, we'll move up the spine to the shoulders, so kind of think about standing up a little bit taller and then pulling your shoulder blades together and down your back. It might turn the palms of your hands forward a little bit. And then moving up to the head, you want to think about aligning your ears over your shoulders. So a lot of times we have that forward reaching chin, but we just want to kind of pull the head back a little bit and a little bit up to bring the ears back over the shoulders. Good, so this is our mountain pose. Go ahead and turn your palms to face me. Feel the firm earth or the floor beneath your feet. And then you want to have that strength move up your legs, through your hips, up your spine, through your shoulders to your neck. And so if your eyes aren't closed yet, let's go ahead and close them and just kind of feel your body in the space. You might feel like you're swaying a little bit or moving just a tiny bit, front to back or side to side. And that's okay. So from here, we'll do our breath awareness from standing today. Try to notice how it feels a little bit different than if you're laying on your back. If you'd like, you can still bring your hands to your chest and your belly to help you breathe. We'll breathe in through the nose, let the belly hand press forward as you fill up, and then big exhale out of the mouth. Again, inhale and exhale. Exhale. Y'all keep taking these forceful deep breaths, and I'm going to walk through a little bit of the anatomy and physiology of this. So when we're doing forceful deep breaths like that, our diaphragm, which is right here at the bottom of the ribs, pulls down to make space for air to come into our lungs, and that presses down on our digestive cavity and causes the pelvic floor to press down as well. And then when you exhale, you want to try to relax not just through the diaphragm, but also through the pelvic floor. So just see if you can bring some attention to that on these next 3 breaths. Big working breath, and then exhale, everything inside relaxes. 2 more times. And that's something we want to try to get used to as we move through our practice today. Is inhaling, kind of adding to the work, adding to the stretch, and then exhaling, you relax and release out of that stretch feeling, and you sink into the pose a little bit more. So from here, we'll get into a little bit of work, but let's bring both hands to the heart for just a moment. Keep your eyes closed and see if you can set a purpose for your class today. We just finished up Valentine's Day, so if you're not sure what to pick, think of something along the lines of self-care and self-love and how you can do that more for yourself, including starting with this class. So you guys are already taking care of yourselves today. Okay, we'll start to move with the breath a little bit. On your next inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Feel your spine elongate. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, your hands can go out to the side like a swan dive, or they can come down through prayer hands through your chest, but we're going to send the hips back as you fold down to reach for your toes. Take a big exhale and just release everything here in this forward fold. So your arms are heavy to the mat, your head hangs heavy between your arms. Then we're going to inhale to just lift your torso up till it comes about parallel to the ground. For most of us, we'll place our hands on our shins. And then exhale, slide down. This time we'll inhale to stand, sweep the arms overhead, big reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good, we're going to do this a few more times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down, bend through your hips to help you come down, not through your spine. All the way to the ground. Release the head, neck, and shoulders. Big exhale. Inhale to lift. Hands to shins or thighs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend through the hips down. Hello, puppers. Release everything at the bottom. Head hangs heavy. Big exhale. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. One more time. Big inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart. This time when you inhale to reach up, let's interlace the fingers like this. Keep the pointer fingers up. Deep breath in again. And exhale, bend over to the right. Take a look up underneath the top arm. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, over to the left. Look up underneath the top arm. And come through center. And exhale, hands to your heart. Good. Take a few little bends through the knees. So what we just did is the top half of a sun salutation, which I really like splitting up the full sun salutation into halves, and that part of it is my favorite. I think it's a great way to warm up or wake up or kind of move your body if you've been sitting for a while. We're going to transition into the second half of sun salutations, which will be mostly on the floor. So this is where if you have some padding for your knees, just make sure that it's close by so that you can slip it underneath your knees when you need to. I'm going to turn to the side because we'll be in plank for a little bit so that you can see what my whole body is doing. So we'll come to the top of your mat. We'll do that same top half movement. So inhale to reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive down. Hips move back all the way to the end. Release everything. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Now here is where we add on. So you're going to bend your knees as much as you need to put your hands on the floor, and then we'll step either foot back, doesn't matter which one goes first, to a plank position. If this is too much, bring your knees down and untuck your toes. Deep breath in. Exhale, squeeze your elbows in close and lower yourself all the way to the mat. Good. Release at the ground. On your next inhale, I'm not using my arms to press up. Just lift your chest with your back. So I'm not using my hands to hold me. Exhale, come down. Inhale, press to your knees. Tuck your toes in the back. My mom requested this pose. Downward facing dog, so press into your hands and lift your hips up and back behind you. So this is where you want the pillow underneath your knees if you're going to continue to do this from your knees. We'll inhale, slide forward. Drop to your knees if you would like. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale to come down. Press to your knees, then to your toes. Downward facing dog. We're going to do this 2 more times. Remember, if you don't like something, you can always take a resting child's pose right here. This is the toughest gentle yoga we've done yet, but I know that you can do it if you try. So 2 more times, stay with me, stay with your breath. So we'll come to downward facing dog. Inhale to slide forward. Come to your knees if you need to. Exhale, lower yourself all the way to the mat. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, release. Press to your knees, then to your toes. 1 more time. Inhale, slide forward. Exhale, lower yourself down. Inhale to lift. Exhale, release. Press to your knees, then to your toes. Downward facing dog. We'll stay in downward facing dog for just a moment. Let's alternate reaching the heels down to the earth and kind of switching your hips side to side. And then we'll inhale to raise up on our toes. Tiptoe your way forward to the top of your mat. And now we're in forward fold. Release here. Let's hold here for a little bit longer than we have been. Hi, angel girl. So a couple things you can do to add on to a forward fold. When you're just released here, make sure you remember your shoulder blades and your neck are nice and relaxed. So your arms are just heavy towards the ground. You can sway side to side. I always like how that feels. You can grab behind the calves and gently kind of pull yourself a little bit deeper into this pose. Just adds a little resistance. You can also reach for your toes if you're able to touch them and kind of wrap your peace fingers around the big toes or slide all of your fingers underneath your foot. And again, gently pull yourself a little bit deeper. 1 more deep breath here. Good. On our next inhale, we'll reach up overhead. And exhale, hands to your heart. So if you combine those two, you've got a full sun salutation, which will slowly build towards over a couple more weeks or so. All right, so let's come to the top of the mat again. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Just let your hands rest at your sides like how we started the class. And just notice how things have changed. That was probably our most intense warm-up yet. My heart's beating a little bit faster. Your breath may be going a little bit more. So just use this standing position here to kind of catch your breath. And the best way to do that is to continue to take deep breaths in through the nose and really slow breaths out of the mouth. So let's take 3 rounds of breath here. I sneak a sip of coffee. Okay, 1 more deep breath in. Big exhale out. Okay, I know I have a few runners watching. So we're gonna get a little side IT band work going here in this next segment. So we're still standing. We're going to inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Pick up the right foot and cross it over the left. Very good. Inhale to reach up. We're going to exhale to fold just like we do when our feet are not crossed, but notice the difference that you feel in the feet and the legs. When you're down here, so my right foot is on top, so I'm going to walk my hands over to the left side first. One breath here. Inhale, walk your hands back through the center. Exhale, walk them over to the right side. And let's do that one more time. Walk back through center, walk over to the left. And just notice how, one, the weight in your feet changes as you're shifting side to side. And two, how the stretch changes as you switch side to side as well. Inhale to stand. Interlace the fingertips at the top like we've done before. So you've got your pinkies up, or your index fingers up, excuse me. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, shift your weight over to the right side, which is going to put more weight into one foot. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, opposite side. You feel it? It's a little less stable to the left if your right foot's on top. You only have one foot to press into to keep you balanced. And inhale, come up. Exhale, hands down. Very good. Uncross the right foot. We'll switch sides. So inhale, the arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Cross the left foot over the right. Inhale, reach up. Index fingers come up. Oh, not yet. Exhale, fold down. Sorry. I don't know if you guys can hear Miley. She's barking at something. Cat patrol. So release completely here at the bottom, just like we do in a standard forward fold. Head's loose, neck and shoulders are loose. My left foot is on the top, so I'm going to walk over to the right side first. Come back through center. Over to the left. One more time, come back through center. Over to the right. Again, notice the weight shifting between your 2 feet. And notice the stretch changing in your hips at the top. Okay, we're back to center. Inhale to stand. Now we'll interlace the fingers, index fingers up, reach up to the sky. Exhale over to the left side first. Inhale, come through center. Exhale over to the right. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, hands down. We'll uncross the feet. We've got one more standing pose. You guys are amazing. This is the longest that we've stood in this whole at-home yoga series. And I can't actually see if you're still with me, but I'm proud of you for standing and trying something new. We're going to do a balance pose next, and the one I'd like to do today is tree. I think it's a wonderful, safe, simple way to practice balance. So bring your attention to your left foot. You're in the way. Wiggle the toes again like we started class, and we'll start by inhaling the right foot up to just so your thighs parallel in front of you. This will be step 1. Take a deep breath in. Open the knee to the outside and bring the right foot into the calf of the left leg. And if you need to, a trick is to bring the toes down so the toes are touching the earth and your foot is more on the ankle of the left leg, and that just gives you a few more roots to ground into the earth with. But if you want a challenge, bring it to your calf. The most important part is to make sure it's not pressing right onto your knee joint. Good, so here we are in tree. Couple things to think about while we're here. Try to press into the left foot, your standing foot, so that your hips don't jut out to the side. So if I press into my left foot, super wobbly today, I stand up a little bit taller and my hips even out. So that's the first thing to think about. Don't be lazy in the left leg. Press into the left foot and lift the hips. Second thing to think about is the right knee. Activate through the back side by squeezing through the glutes to pull the right knee back just as far as you can. If you're tight in your hips, it's going to find a stopping point, but you want to have those backside glutes working, so pull that knee back the best you can. Good. Next, your hands can find a place at your heart. They can rest on your hips. They can reach up like branches. Whatever kind of feeling you want to have here in your tree pose. Don't be afraid to take up space. And if you ever end up in a public yoga class, don't be afraid to take up space there either. Spread your branches. Good. To add some difficulty, you can move the arms and close one or both of your eyes. Very good. Deep breath in. Reach the arms up overhead. Big exhale, hands to your heart. And we'll slowly bring the right foot off of the left leg. Shake the knees out. Good work. So now we'll match that on the other side. Right foot toes will lift up and wiggle a little bit. On your inhale, bring your left knee up to balance. Once you feel steady here, we'll open up to the side and then bring the left foot in to the calf or the ankle, not on the knee. Okay, from here we'll run through those thinking points. So think about not sinking into your tree, but press into the right foot to lift your hips up. Very good. Once you're steady there, think about pulling the left knee back with your left glute. So we're opening through the hip, pressing the left knee to your back wall. Good. And then we'll find a place for your arms. Couple breaths from here. You can add difficulty by moving your arms or closing one or both of your eyes. Deep breath in, reach the hands up. Exhale, hands to your heart. And bring the left foot off of your right leg. Shake the knees out. Good job. We've made it through the standing part of practice today. So now we'll come down to a seat. The way I'm going to walk you through it is through a yogi squat, which can be pretty intense. If you do not want to do it that way, you can just have a seat, or you can move back through that sun salutation that we learned at the beginning of class. So if you're going to stay with me, take your feet a little bit outside of your mat. Deep breath in, reach the arms up. As you exhale, slowly lower yourself down into a big squat in between your feet. Very good. Little Asian baby yoga squat. Then we'll bring our hands behind us and have a seat. Very good. Welcome to the ground. Okay, next up is a big hip stretch, again for the runners and really anyone who sits all day. We're going to take the right foot across the left knee. The closer the left foot is to your body, once you've got this kind of crisscross position happening, the more intensity you're going to feel in your right hip. So bring it in as close as is comfortable. And this is the part of class where it's a good place to use a big inhale to deepen the feeling of the stretch, and then a long, slow exhale to kind of release that pressure and release that intensity. And when you finish your exhale, you can kind of settle into the pose a little bit more. So here we are in this figure 4 stretch. We're going to keep our torsos upright. Sometimes we do this laying back on our backs, but today I want us to floss the joint a little bit. So we're here sitting up. I've got good support on my hands behind me, so I'm not sitting up without leaning into my hands. Flex the ankle of the right foot, which will just help protect your joints a little bit. And then we're just going to take the legs side to side some. So where my ankle is across the knee doesn't change, but both legs are kind of moving side to side in their hip joints. And it's just, for me, it's pretty deep, intense stretch over here, and then I rotate back to the right and it comes out a little bit. So we're just moving, practicing range of motion in the joint, flossing your hips. Very good. Let's go one more time. And we'll come back through center. We'll uncross the legs. Switch sides, so the left ankle will come across the right knee. Sometimes I find it's helpful if you saw me just do that. When I'm bringing the left foot across, I kind of press my hips up off the ground, bring the left foot across, and have a seat. Whew, okay. I talked to you a bit through the first part of the other side, so we're just gonna hold it here. Find your breath. It's not uncommon or abnormal for one side to be a little bit more intense than the other. You coming to check on us? Ooh, ooh. Stop it. Nope. Sit. Okay, one more breath here, just holding it, then we'll start to floss the hips. What are you going to do? You're going to floss your hips. Did you know Miley's British? No. Now you do. Okay, stop. All right. When you're ready, remember the ankle stays over the knee, and we're just moving through the legs at the hips. So side to side, come over to the right and back to the left. Again, noticing differences between the two sides. So for me on the other side, coming across the body with the crossed over leg was really intense, and it's not as much on this side. So nothing to do with that. Just notice things about yourself. One more time. Then we'll uncross the next time you come back through center. Put both feet flat on the floor and just let the knees go side to side. So that's a great one to do in isolation before or after runs, before or after sitting for a long time if you just happen to be on the floor. Okay, it's time to lay down on your backs. Make sure that you have a strap or your towel or a belt close by. We're going to work on the back of the legs and the low back a little bit here in one of my favorite series. So go ahead and come back to that position. Check and make sure we're good. Hello. Okay. We're still connected. So we're laying down on your backs. Just take a few breaths to reset in this new position. I always like when you're changing orientations to the earth, especially from standing to sitting or sitting to laying, to give your body a chance to adjust to that. Okay, hello puppy. All right, so before we start the strap series, let's bring your feet flat to the ground, knees pointing up. This just gives you a little bit of support for your back. Hello, Mom. Why are you laying on the floor? From here, when you are nice and relaxed, you should have a little bit of space underneath your low back. That's normal. It's good curvature of the spine. I want us to accentuate that with our inhales. So when you inhale and you fill up with air, your torso cavity expands, and as you do that laying here on your back, it should cause your low back to arch a little bit more. So big deep breath in, let your back roll up off of the mat, and then exhale as you compress to press the air out, roll your low back down to the mat. And then inhale, expand, arch your back a tiny bit, and exhale, roll back to press into the mat. Inhale, these are called pelvic tilts, and they're wonderful to do for your core and your back and your posture. Inhale, release. One more time, exhale, tuck down. Very good. Inhale, just find a neutral, relaxed pelvis. Now we're going to take the strap around the bottom of the right foot and extend the right foot up to the sky. The left foot can stay flat on the ground in a bent knee position, or if you have room, you can extend it out. I don't have room today, so I'm going to keep the left knee bent for me. On the right side, we're pressing into the heel, which will just activate the stretch a little bit more up the back of the leg. And we're taking deep breaths to ease into this stretch a little bit more with every exhale. So when you exhale, you can try to either straighten your knee a little bit more or pull the foot more over your hips. And when I'm saying a little bit, I mean just the tiniest amount that you can feel but maybe not actually see. Before we move on, keep the strap on the foot, and we're just going to rotate the foot in kind of a half circle at the top. So that rotation should extend all the way down your leg into your hip so that your whole leg is moving in a circle, but it starts at the foot. One more time. Okay, find a neutral position for your foot. Take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, we're just slowly going to open the foot out to the right side. Use the strap for support if you get to a place where it feels like you're going too far. So this is why we have this assistance here. You don't want to try to get your foot all the way to the ground but have your hips roll up. So it's more important to me that both hips stay flat to the ground and your leg is in the air. So here's kind of the end for me, supported by the strap, feeling a good stretch through the hips, but still attached on both sides to the earth. On your next inhale, come back up through center. Switch hands for the strap. Keep it around the right foot. Right hand comes out to the side to brace you. And we're going to take the foot just barely across the midline, so not into a twist yet. Both hips stay down on the mat. We're just moving the leg across the center of your body and then pull it back a little bit. So this again is for the IT band, which we work standing up a little bit, as well as the TFL muscle, which is where the IT band attaches. If this feels really nice to you, stay here. If you want to go a little bit out of the hip and more into the low back, you'll rotate over to the left side still. I'm running into stuff, so I'm going to come out of this. But you guys stay there for a few more breaths. Last deep breath in. Big exhale out. On your next inhale, we'll bring the foot back up through center. And then hug your knee down to your chest and take the strap off the bottom of the foot. Keep your knee hugged in and just kind of move it around in a way that feels good. Take your foot in circles around the ankle. and then we'll switch sides. So extend the right foot out to the end of your mat. Take the strap around the left foot. I'm just gonna walk you through this side as well. So we'll extend the left foot up to the sky. The right leg can be straight out, or if you don't have room or you need some more support for your back, bend through the right knee to keep your right foot flat on the ground. And we'll use your breath to deepen the stretch. So inhale, fill up, deepen the stretch. Exhale, relax, release, and sink into it. Probably mostly feeling it up the back of the leg. But every body is different. One more deep breath here. Okay, before we move on, we'll take the foot and you're just going to rotate the foot side to side, which will extend down the leg. It's almost like a windshield wiper motion. So take some rotations there. The motion should move out of your foot all the way down your leg, so your whole leg is kind of rotating side to side in the hip socket. Okay, pause when you come through center. Take the right arm out to the right side. Take a deep breath in. Use the left hand to guide the left leg over to the side. And again, this is where you want your both hips to stay open on the mat. So if you're rolling over to the left side, you want to pull the left foot back up. It's more important that your hips stay flat to the ground than it is you get the left leg all the way over to the ground. So that's what the strap is for. Lots of cat activity today. One more deep breath. Big exhale. All right, on your next inhale, we'll bring the leg back up over center. Remember, before we go into the twist, we take it just a little bit past the midline for that IT band stretch. We'll change hands, so your right hand has the strap now. Your left arm is reaching out to the side. Couple deep breaths here in that IT band. Okay, take a deep breath in, and when you're ready, you can take the leg all the way across into the twist. Left arm's reaching out to pull you into a nice twist through the thoracic spine. So both shoulders are down on the mat, and then the left leg is over to the right side. We'll take a few deep breaths here. On your next inhale, we'll bring the leg back up over center with your strap. Exhale, hug the knee down to the chest. Take the strapper belt off of the foot. Hug the left side down close to you. Maybe take the left foot in some circles. And this will be the end of our practice today. Before we do Savasana. So if there's a stretch that we didn't do today that you would really enjoy, you can go ahead and take a moment for that now. If you're ready for final resting pose, you've definitely earned it today. You can go ahead and set up for that however you would like. If you're in the living room and you have a couch or a footstool close by, you can prop your legs up on the couch. Just put your calves on the seat part and let the backs of your thighs kind of run down the front side of that piece of furniture. It's a really nice treat. So in the effort and intention of self-care and self-love, which was our kind of focus for class today. Take that little bit of extra effort to treat yourself today, even if it means having to scooch over close to a chair. I'm ready. Can we relax now? I would like some belly rubs. All right, once you're settled, close your eyes. Find your breath. We'll do a few more rounds of focused, effortful inhales and exhales. And after about 2 or 3, just relax. Stop thinking about the breath and just let it be as it is. So big inhale in through the nose. Slow exhale out of the mouth. One more time. Big inhale through the nose. Slow exhale out of the mouth. So continue breathing, but shift your focus to your body. We'll do a little scan from your toes up to your head. And for your gratitude today, bring your attention and your focus to some self-love. What can you appreciate about your body today? Just pick 2 to 3 places as you scan up that you can be grateful for. And be really specific. What specifically do you appreciate about your knees? What specifically do you appreciate about your internal organs? What specifically do you appreciate about the bones of your chest? So pick 2 or 3 that are special to you or that maybe you're having a hard time appreciating right now, and find something that you can love about it. After you finish your scan, just let your muscles relax into the mat. Let your mind and body be still for a few more minutes. It's a luxury we don't get most days. If you have time and are able, you're welcome to stay here on your mat in this relaxed pose for as long as you can. If you need to be getting up and moving and going about your Sunday things, then start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Bring some gentle movement back to your body. And I want to say thank you for January for donating to the Koala Fund. Celeste closed her fundraiser, so I'm looking for an alternative to donate to, but it will be a wildlife care fund, and I'll post about it as soon as I find it. For February and the rest of March, I want to pick St. Jude, and that might just be our go-to charity because of my time in Memphis and how much I love what that organization stands for. So if you want to contribute, you can make a donation straight to the organization yourself, or you can pay me on Venmo, and I'll keep a tally of them and make a big donation from all of us at the end of the month. Next week, same time, same place, your place and mine. I'll be in Austin though, visiting my brother and Shelby and some friends from school, but I plan to do my first ever traveling gentle yoga on Sunday. So thank you guys so much for joining me again and taking time out of your weekend to practice with me and Miley, and we'll see you next week. Have a great day. Say goodbye. Hi, Vince.